Hi, it's me, MC. And the reason I'm coming on here is I really want to talk about supplements, especially the supplement Omega-3. I've been taking Omega-3 for quite some time, and I have to tell you, I was looking at the research that just came out about last year, and it is remarkable what you will discover about aging and using omega-3s as a supplement. I was astonished, and so I'm excited to share this, and I hope you will learn something too about supplements that will help you on your getting older journey. I'm MC. I'm a health psychologist. I've been working in research for the past 30 years. And I've started this channel because of my dad. My dad passed away in 2017. And truthfully, I think he passed away way too soon. And if he had some help and some direction and some guidance and some education, I really think he could have lived a longer life. And so that's the whole purpose of me being here. So please think about subscribing and joining me with a like or a share, because truthfully, I really want us to learn as much as possible as we can so that we can be as functional and vibrant well into our 80s and 90s. So let's talk about omega-3s. Recently, there was a research study that was published in 2025 in I think it was called Nature Aging Study was what it was called. It showed that omega-3 can slow our biological clock of aging process by up to 4 months as measured by our epigenetic clock. So, what is an epigenetic clock? I think there are cells in our body that are like the tracking cells of our life. It keeps track of the things that we've been exposed to, and it's something that kind of characterizes just our overall physical condition. And many times in research, we're learning that if we can understand the epigenetic characterization of a person, we could possibly help people with better treatments and better understanding of their exposures. There's some studies now that can tell you, because of looking at your epigenetic clock, if you were ever exposed to cigarette smoke. And they can do it very accurately. So the epigenetic clock in our body is really a amazing feature that we're learning in science that gives us a great deal of information. So, why am I talking about omega-3? The studies that have shown it really is not only something that helps us with our aging process, but it's also something that helps us prevent our frailty. It gives us resilience, fewer infections, less falls. And believe me, as we get older, the ability to maintain our strength and our balance is something that we have to work very intentionally with. I know for me, I'm not that far from 70. I am very intentional about doing my balance exercise, my weight exercises, and my nutrition. And I think the other thing I'm really looking at is my supplements. So if you're even interested about the big supplement picture, I'm going to leave a link in the show notes for the Huberman Lab. And Andrew Huberman and Rhonda Fitzpatrick, I think that's her last name. I always mess up her last name. They have an amazing discussion about supplements. And I am so inspired. They do recommend in the study that you take a gram. And a gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. But I think there are some studies out there that show an even higher dose can give you even more benefit. I am not an MD. I'm a health psychologist. I'm someone who likes to look at the big picture and see what are our options. And if you can talk to your primary care provider and find out what's a good dose for you. Are you taking enough omega-3? Are you eating enough omega-3 types of fish? That's where I think I'm up in the air about fish, because guess what? There's a lot of mercury in fish. So we have to really balance our nutrition with some good supplements. And so what is a good supplement? A good supplement is one that is a third party verified. It doesn't have a whole lot of contaminants, maybe, or it comes from a well-known producer, and that it can be something that has a good sense of the ingredients. It doesn't have things in it that are like seed oils. So definitely take a look at your supplements. Are you taking an omega-3? Speak to your primary care provider because really, can we really turn back our biological clock? I know I'm really looking at that because frankly, I do not want to be someone who's frail in my 80s. I want to be strong. I want to have good sense of heart health. I want to have better blood pressure and my cardiovascular disease prevention because guess what? That's the biggest risk in my family, cardiovascular disease. And you can do your best by understanding like what's going on with your heart and your arteries, but definitely the way that the arteries and plaque is formed, it's a very difficult way to understand what your kind of comprehensive risk is, even though you're doing a yearly blood draw and looking at all the blood work and looking at your cholesterol and you're being conscientious about nutrition. But hey, why not increase your ability to be cardiovascular healthier if you can take an omega-3? I think that's a wonderful process. And they say that the biggest takeaway for this type of research is don't take it alone. Omega-3 taken with vitamin D, taken with some exercise, and just some good nutrition, you're going to have a big bang for your health. Apparently, it helps reduce cancer risk. It really helps that beautiful reduction of frailty, which is something that is a difficult process for us to prevent. None of us can understand what's going to happen with us as we get older when it comes to our muscles, our bone density. There's just so many complex components that go into that algorithm of your health and your bone and your muscles and everything. And we can't predict falling and hurting ourselves or injuries or things that just happen accidentally. So I know for me, I had a hip replacement last summer and it's taking me a bit to recover. So I'm being very intentional about recovery because that's what is going to help me get stronger and build muscle and basically have better balance, better bone density. That's why I started using this Hume band, which I talked about a couple of episodes ago, and I'm really learning a lot there. It's amazing. Although I'm not quite certain what all the measures mean yet, but I do know that right now, with my level of activity, I'm failing. I got a D, I think. And my metabolic health is really not great either. So I have some places to improve. But overall, by using the things that I am doing, it did give me a good overall score. I don't know. Does it mean anything yet to me? No. Am I learning about it? Yes. And I think that nutrition, supplements, movement, and our mental well-being with some good meditation and mindfulness practices and some social engagement, all of these things come together for us to be the very best person that we can be well into our 80s and 90s. I suggest you speak to your primary care provider, talk to them about your supplements. Are you taking enough vitamin D? Vitamin D is really very important. I started taking a vitamin D just recently. So there's so much evidence. I'm on a GLP-1 drug, and I talked about some of the reduction in nutrition when you're on a GLP-1 drug. And one of the top ones was vitamin D. So taking vitamin D, taking an omega-3, and a gram is not that much. It's 1,000 milligrams. If you start with that, I take a little more than that. But I haven't had any kinds of colds or viruses this past fall. I'm feeling great. I've just had allergies. I'm feeling energetic. I think I had one little day where I was feeling super fatigued, but you know what? The problem is I don't sleep well. I have poor sleep and I'm working on that. Think about how, from a big picture, are you supporting your health and well-being? Are you moving? Are you eating nutritional whole foods? Are you taking some supplements maybe? What is it that you're doing from a multiple pronged approach that you can to be the best version of who you are well into your 80s and 90s? So please hit that subscribe button and join me here each week, and let's share and discuss how we can be the beautiful, healthy version of who we are well into our 80s and 90s. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. So thank you so much for joining me at Healthy by George. I hope you found the information inspiring and that it encourages you on your wellness journey. Because remember, your body, your well-being are a most precious gift, and every tiny action taken daily can make a huge difference. I hope the information here is educational purposes and is not meant to replace your medical care. See your doctor and talk about what works for you. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continuing creating content that inspires and empowers you to live your best life. Goodbye for now, and join me again at the next Healthy by George.